rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah, as-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Amma ba'd. Welcome to another installment of the R2F Show. Myself, Jaffer, Mubarak, and Amr are here to discuss various topics related to religious deviation, particularly related to Islamic cults or cults that use Islam to take advantage of people. And today's show, we're going to talk about the concepts of how cults, how abusive leadership, spiritually abusive groups, how they deal with people who they let back into the group versus people that they kick out of the group. And a testimony to how, like, say, righteous a group is, or how considerate a group is, how much a group represents Islam. That is, you look how they treat people. You look how they treat people that they don't disagree with, or people that they agree with, and how they handle disagreement. And we're going to try to show today, inshallah, the vast disparity of how they handle people that they want to use for show, welcome them back in the group, use them as their own little propaganda tools, versus people that are well-respected, honorable individuals, more honorable than the people that they claim are honorable, how they deal with them once they disagree with them. So, inshallah, we're going to get into that. Let's see. Now we're good. We're good, Mubarak. So the first thing we're going to bring up, inshallah, is a memo of an individual they let back into TMOA. And this is nothing against the individual. Like, you know, we're not trying to make anything personal about the individual that they let back in. However, we will talk about some things, and hopefully if the person's watching, or if people can get the message back to the individual, they will open their eyes up to some things of how they're being used, how they're being manipulated. And it's actually a slap in the face to them and everybody they're related to. So I don't know if do you have to share the screen, or what do I gotta do anything? Let's see.
I think you might have to let it be on the screen, Jaffer. Okay.
There we go.
All right, cool.
All right.
This is
Can
from
you zoom in on this?
Our good boy, never mind. Not gonna say his name. Jamal Williamson. His official name.
Egg roll.
Jaffer said, not me. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This notice is being sent to inform the community that Fayed Williams has been reinstated to TMOA and therefore allowed to visit community property. Our beloved Mortar Kamil and Her Eminence Sheikha Sahiba have made it our mission and goal to reform those who wish to come along with us and try to do so sincerely. Allah knows best. Jazakallah khair, Majlis Ashura. I think this is the first time I've ever seen someone get brought back into the Jamaat, officially, unless I'm mistaken.
I've seen multiple times.
Okay.
Oh, it's echoing. Yeah, I've seen multiple times where they've let people in the Jamaat and they send out memos. Like, for instance, I'll give an example. After myself, our brother Hanif, and my brother Abdul Kawi, after we all got kicked out, very recently after that, they let an individual back in the Jamaat. I won't say his name. Who was guilty of committing fornication with one of his best friend's wives. So he was kicked out the Jamaat. The lady he fornicated with was kicked out the Jamaat. But then they made this big announcement. They're like, "Oh, he's back in." Right? So they had just kicked us three out, and they let this individual back in. Right? So it's happened a lot, and they always make a show of it because they want to show that, oh, we're so merciful, we're so kind. We're so forgiving. We're giving people all these chances to come back and rectify themselves. And really, the brother showed up and wanted to play in a basketball tournament. Well, let's be real. I think we have a video here.
Yeah.
Wanted to play in a basketball tournament. And I'm guessing, but I'm pretty sure they're like, oh, you can't play unless you're part of the Jamaat. And he was probably like, all right, I'm in the Jamaat then. Let me play basketball.
So I mean, if we look at it, the memo. Okay, right. This notice is being sent from the community that Fayed Williams has been reinstated. So if he's been reinstated, number one, why was he kicked out? Do we know? I don't even know. It doesn't really matter that much. But okay, so if he was reinstated, what did he have to do to get reinstated? So if he just said,
Yeah.
I just want to be back in, they're like, okay, cool, you in. Yeah, I don't know. Is he talking about my camera? I don't know. Okay, let me just go because
It's fine.
I lost my train of thought there. So what I'm saying is that okay, he reinstated. What did he? I don't even know what I'm just saying. Let's just think about it. Okay, if he got kicked out, what did he get kicked out for? Either he got kicked out for not paying his dues. Or he got kicked out for some other violation. Sometimes they kick people out for criminal activity. Sometimes they don't. Just kind of depends. For him to get reinstated, maybe he started paying his dues again, or promising. I mean, what would be sad is that if he got reinstated for then paying his dues again. Can you imagine? You want to play in the basketball tournament, so you pay a bunch of back arrears just to get back in. I mean, that's sad. That's going out sad and bad. I mean, then if he got kicked out for saying that he doesn't believe in the 6 sultans, the 7 sultans, and that he believed that the beliefs of Timaway, like believing that it's difficult to believe that the Trinity is haram or whatever it was that old boy said. I mean, walking back some of those statements and things like that. Could you imagine you walking back and re-entering shirk because a basketball tournament, because you want to play ball? I mean, just think, what did he have to do to get reinstated? Like, to get reinstated, you had to literally basically like agree to some stuff that, let's be honest, he probably actually really does not believe, nor won't really have anything to do with. So I mean, let's look at from the admins, like the Shura Council, because they know they're going to watch it eventually. If they're not watching right now, they're probably right now sitting down, probably hiding somewhere so nobody else sees them watching. But you got to ask the Shura Council, all of y'all, do y'all really believe that he, for whatever reason y'all kicked him out for, and he was out, that now he fully believes, as y'all only take sincere talibs, people that are sincere. Do y'all really believe that he is on the belief of, or is it just a basketball tournament? Y'all gotta be real with yourselves. Y'all probably don't even care. Y'all quickly put out a memo. Oh, he's back. We want to welcome him back. But what did he do? What did he do to show that he's a functioning they used to say, like, for a person that's not out of it or whatever, active member or whatever it was. But what? What did he do to show that? What did he do to show that? Probably nothing. And I'm not even trying to drag the brother. I'm just showing it's sad. He went out bad and sad, especially if he paid any money to pay dues or whatever. You'll be better off giving that to one of your many family members or friends or whatever who might need an extra hand in the community. But paying any dues is just paying for a family to then fight over that funds later on or now. So I mean, that's what when I see reinstated, I mean, that's what comes to mind. Like, I mean, what did he do? What did he do to get kicked out? What did he do to get kicked back in? Is it actually sincere?
Well, it's funny because I think you hit on an important point that I hope people don't miss is, when did he get kicked out? So you're like, there was no memo issued like, oh, he's out the Jamaat, he's kicked out, but you guys are welcoming him back in because he hasn't been around for a while or whatever, showed up, whatever. And I mean, the real sad thing about it is that with this particular family, and I mean, we all should know the history of what's going on with how TMOA has treated his family in particular. Starting with, we'll start with just his brother, right? Kicked his brother out, called his brother a devil, disparaged him, destroyed his family, all these different things, right? And more importantly, what they've done to his father, Rahimullah, may Allah forgive him for any of his sins and bless him, is that he's passed away. They disparaged him after his death. They pretty much said that he's in hell. I'm sorry. I'm not hanging out with anybody that my Muslim father passed away and they're like, yeah, he's in hell. I don't want to be around you. I'm sorry. I don't want to play basketball with you. I don't want you to issue memos about me. I don't want you to do I don't want nothing to do with you. So to like lower yourself, it's really sad that, and I know Fayed. I mean, I'm not really close. So I might know him from playing in basketball tournaments and all that. And like he presents himself as like, tough alpha guy. These are the things that take away your manhood, and you might not realize it because you're basically bending down, cowering, and doing whatever they asked of you so that they could get you reinstated at the cost of the one of the people that you should be respecting and honoring the most, your father. Like these people, according to their sheikh and their eminence or whatever, are saying, yeah, that brother's Faid's dad's in hell. Why would you kowtow to anybody that's saying that?
Hey, but you know what? Maybe, and I don't know. Maybe eventually, hopefully, maybe he's watching now. Fayed, do you believe that your father is in hell? I mean, none of us know what our situation will be when we die, but we hope,
right?
And we pray that us and our parents and our families and everybody. I mean, even the people in TMOA. I hope that by the time each of us pass away, we all wind up in Jannah. I don't want any single person that's inside or outside of TMOA to go to hell. I don't. But for Fayed, do you believe your father's in hell?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you believe that? I mean, because this is what what was said, as if it's a done deal. Like they know the unseen, which is a huge issue too. But I mean, I mean, for you to go back with these people, I mean, that's telling me that you believe, your father's in hell. Now, if you don't believe that your father's in hell, and you love your father, and you're still able to pray and make dua for your father, because if Allah puts a person in hell, I mean, that means that's some serious implications. But if you don't believe that, then you would be a huge hypocrite to actually go back with them, knowing 100% damn well that you do not believe that. I mean, they take what their Murshid says as the gospel, basically. If he says it happened, which we know that lots of things he said have not happened. I mean, we've proven that he really just very inaccurate with his predictions, his statements, his just knowledge of Islam just in general is well below average. But if you don't believe what he says, then I mean, you're literally standing on a lie. You're literally standing there as a person who doesn't believe anything. They're believing you're with them. I mean, seriously, I don't care who it is and what situation it is. No one is going to believe that I'm with them if the very foundation of my beliefs are against what they believe. They believe your father's in hell. If you don't believe your father's in hell, and you believe that the mercy of Allah can and will reach your father and all of us, then there's no way you can be there unless you're a complete coward and hypocrite.
Mm-hmm. And like, I wouldn't even let people like disparage my father when he's alive, much less when he passes away. And like, I understand the whole moniker ball is life. Listen, ball is not that important. All right. You're like 40, 50 years old. There's no way that playing in a tournament with some people you knew from your childhood days is important to you. Your father, listen, I knew your father growing up. Him and my father were friends. So your father was a very good man. All right. So this, as what Mark said, there's no way that you're gonna be people who are just like, your father's in hell. There's absolutely no way. I was talking to a brother the other day, and he was like, listen, like, it's crazy to me that people are disrespecting their fathers. When like my father passed away, I would do anything to see him again, talk to him again. And like just people are just openly just saying, hey, you know what? My father is this, that, and third because Jelani told me so. He was telling me like there was a brother he was talking to a couple years back. He said like, listen, if Jelani told me to go and kill my father, I would do it. All right. And I'm like, bro, what? I was like, hold on, like that. Say it again, please. Say it again. He's like, yeah. He told me that if Jelani said, hey, listen, go kill your father, I would do it. And like these people are just so lost, and they have their priorities are just not set at all. Their understanding what's important to them is just all wrong. It's just sad to see.
We have a video here of the like, and this is, I wanted to like point this out that like they're making a show of it. Like like when you got to tell when someone's like trying to pimp you out for something, and like as men, we can't let people just use us for their own agendas. Like like for instance, if anybody's grown up in like maybe white schools or white situations, sometimes they might try to use you as like the token black guy.
Token black.
Don't fall for that crap, right? Right now they're using you as like they using you as like, oh, let's hold him up as like an example. Like, look what we did. Like, we reformed him. He's back. Like, and it's really sad. So we got this video here.
Okay. Welcome back. Yeah, you can play in the basketball tournament. Oh,
welcome back.
I mean, people in the crowd.
WNBA crowd right there, right?
WNBA game.
Yeah, and I want to point this out is that, I mean, we catch flack all the time for whatever the topics we talk on the show, but they got to be talked about, right? I'm pretty sure, like, maybe even himself are gonna like message us and threaten us and want to, oh, you guys talked about me, you talked about my boo. Did you have this same energy for these people that said your abu's in hell? Did you have the same energy for these people that attacked your family, your brothers, your family, whatever? Like we mentioned this before, like whatever issues you have, you know, we have brothers, we have issues, we argue, we debate, we get upset with each other, whatever. But as soon as someone comes in and violates one of our family, it's a different story now. At least it should be. And to like, so like, don't have a problem with us talking about this on the show when you have people who are that you joined forces with, allowed yourself to be used as a propaganda tool, and you didn't have a problem with the stuff that they said about your Abu and other members of your family, because your Abu is not the only one that left the Jamaat in your family. You know, and this is just, I hate to be for fight to be the example, but this is an example that all the people in this situation need to recognize, because if you have family members, and we'll use this to kind of segue to a more important topic, is when you have family members, whether you believe in this TMOA stuff or not, whether you're like, oh, Sheikh Jelani's my Sheikh and my Murshid and Sheikha Murshida, whatever, right? Whatever your beliefs are on that, you have to recognize when you are being used as a tool to attack people that you claim that you love, claim that you're there for, claim that are family members. Because we have another situation where an individual who's a very well-known individual in the Jamaat, a very respected individual in the Jamaat, Salman, what's his last name?
Rahim.
Rahim. Very well respected. Anybody that knows him they can't say they have a problem, as far as I know. And they recently kicked him out the Jamaat.
Yep. Assalamu alaikum.
Actually, hang on 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah.
Before we do that, let's just finish off this junk, because there actually is some the rest of it is very pertinent. The one with Faid, because the little memo or whatever, because okay, they they said reinstated. There was a thing with whether what he got kicked out for, why he was reinstated, but I would say, because probably Faid is probably going to think, well, something negative, very negative about us. So I want to say, before you have that energy with us, just simply place a call to the Shura Council, call them, any one of their members, or call Sheikha Noor, go see her and ask her about your father and what she thinks about him or whatever. Maybe you believe exactly what they believe, and that would be unfortunate as far as your father's concerned. Then it's a moot point. But if you believe the opposite, then ask them. Ask them what their views are about your father first. Before you have that energy for us, as Jafar says, go there. I would say just place the call and ask them. And if you never did that, or maybe you didn't know that information, what they think about your dad, but if you never did that, then I would say do that first. That's the first thing. And so he says he's been reinstated to TMOA, and therefore he's allowed to visit community property. So this already touched the community property. So what is it that is at the community properties that is the access is restricted or given or whatever that you lost access to? You lost access to your family members. Basically, they cut you off from your family members until you said something that agreed with their group, not breaching Islam, because I mean, like, What did you do? Did you say you, even if you said you weren't a Muslim, they couldn't legally, as Muslims, they could not bar you from your family members, even if you were a non-Muslim.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
this is a clear, if this doesn't show you the pure cult of it, that they're literally restricting access to your family members if you don't agree. Now you can go and visit them. Before, if you didn't come back with us, then you're no longer able to have access to your family, not in any of our properties, because it's not like, oh, there's a carnival there, or there's a, it's like Six Flags over, over Ahmadabad West or something like that. There's nothing there. There's nothing there but people. There's not any like attractions. I mean, maybe there's some quote unquote masajid there, some masjids there, but look at what they are now allowing you to do. Let alone, we don't even need to go back over the whole thing about what about all the other Muslims in the world. So no other Muslim, no other people. So if you don't agree with them, you're not even able to even come to their properties. Do you know how psycho that is? I mean, for the people listening, just think of the situation that you're in. You're in the twilight zone. I mean, this is even nuts. It's not like, okay, this is a country club or something, golf club where you pay a big fee or whatever to be there and you get to play golf or whatever. This is supposed to be a Muslim community, a model community for the whole world to see, and they can't even access it. It's pretty sad. The other thing is, I got to do the second paragraph. Our beloved Murshid Kamil and her eminence. Her eminence. I mean, I know we covered it before, but
you said that about royalty, right? Eminence is like royalty.
I mean,
right?
Look at what they're doing to you people. When was she ever mentioned as her eminence, or anything about her like that until her husband passed away? Now she's thrown in there as her eminence, and you people, without even missing a beat, just go right into just follow off the cliff like lemmings. You're like the people when you had the chance to escape this. You had the chance to say, okay, he's dead, let's do our own thing. And literally you're being shoehorned back into it by attaching her, and now she's eminence. Our beloved, now they don't even mention Murshid Kamil as his eminence. They used to say his eminence. Now F him. He just, okay, our beloved Murshid Kamil. Now it's her. She's the eminent one. It just doesn't make sense. Y'all really have to wake up. Y'all in the twilight zone. Okay, and they say her eminence have made it our mission and goal to reform those who wish to come along. So basically, Fayed, you needed to be reformed, my guy. So you have to seriously ask yourself the question: what did they do to reform you? Either A, you paid money or agreed to pay money. I'm willing to bet that was it. Did they say, okay, let's start with your salah? Okay, let's start with some sort of Islam, because this is the reformation you need. Did they say, okay, what's up with your education, and what type of career do you have? I mean, I know you're not a young man, but so what type of reformation did they do? Was it a spiritual reformation? Did anyone come to you and say, okay, about Islam, this is what you need to know and understand? Did anybody? I bet you. And you have to be honest with yourself, Fayed, and for the Shura Council, for you people who put out this memo, what sort of reformation did you offer? It's just for him to just be around, to pay dues and be around and be able to play basketball. But what true reformation did you offer the man? And did you receive it? Fayed, what sort of reformation? Now, you can look at yourself and say, okay, maybe I'm not where I wanted to be spiritually, or socially, or economically, or as a man, or whatever the case may be. And they're helping to reform me and make me better. What did they do? Only thing they did, you agreed to believe what they believe, and that was it. That's your reformation. This is a trick. It's a lie. Nothing actually happened. Yeah, I mean, it's
promise to pay. He was like, all right, I believe, and I'm gonna hit y'all up with something after this tournament. You know what I mean? A couple hundred here, there. We'll start paying.
You're not gonna pay.
Start being around.
Yeah,
maybe you're gonna do security at pull up for you a couple of shifts on security, as security is. But and so we make a mission to reform those who wish to come along with us and try to do so sincerely.
Come along where? Where are y'all going? Where have y'all been? Where y'all going? I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and it's someone who's recently left and got off the juice. So they've been on the lands and seen and literally they were saying, so I remember the lands when I was a kid, and they're all worse than what they are now when I'm an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no progression. You guys haven't advanced on anything. You don't have any, you haven't even advanced in your cult skills. You're not even an advanced cult. You're not even very good at that.
Look at the Muhammad Qasim. Look Muhammad Qasim's cult. They're running laps around Teamway as far as organization, on message, on point. Literally, they just showed up, and they have in 40 years, in 4 months, they did what y'all haven't been able to do in 40 years. So
the followers in England,
Bangladesh,
America,
Malaysia. Yeah. Sure, none of them actually humans, but they're saying they are though. All right.
Yeah, even the Pakistani y'all got ain't as good as the Pakistani they got. They got a better Pakistani sheikh than y'all got.
Mr. Bean going crazy over there. Shout out to him. Oh my god, y'all.
And this dude was like, I'm not holy.
I got a lot of work to do. But yeah, we can get this. Yeah, but we can get to the other one now. I just felt like that some of that stuff needed to be said.
Well, pay attention to those key things that Mubarak touched on. Is where's the Reformation?
Mm-hmm.
The Reformation we already know it had to do with acknowledging or submitting to their beliefs, probably accepting bayat to the new imama, to the female imam. Mm-hmm. You probably had to take bayat to her, and for sure it had to related to either giving up some money or promising to start giving up money. And this connects directly to this because this individual, we don't know for sure because we're not directly connected. So we hear through the grapevine, but allegedly he was pretty much kicked out because he's like, I'm not paying the membership dues no more because I don't know where it goes. So
yeah, let me zoom in for y'all. I got you. I thought gambling, not writing papers anymore. Dear respected community members, we hope this reaches everyone well. We write to inform the community that Salman Rahim of Red House VA has been dismissed from Team Away effective immediately. Salman Rahim has refused to follow Team Away policy and made his stance clear. Our beloved Morshid Khamil has always told us, I only need one sincere talib. Therefore, we will not hold on to anyone who has already removed themselves from our way. May Allah keep our feet firmly planted upon the path of our beloved Morshid Khamil has set forth for us and make us sincere in our oaths until our last breath. Majlis Ashura. Jazakallah khair.
I think we let me just run down. I'm gonna try to run through all my points real quick because break it down. Okay, so we already did the dear respected community members. I think last week. Basically, we kind of proved y'all not respected. I mean seriously, for just a regular, everyday, general population community member, you're not in a Shura council. You're not related to someone, the sheikh or someone by marriage or something. You're not, related to any of the honorables or whatever. You're just the everyday man or woman in the community. And tell the truth. Do you believe you are a respected community member by this Majlis Ashura and these people? Do you think that they respect you? Be honest with yourself. And if you say yes, give me an example.
Yeah.
Give me an example of where you was like, this is like, they showed me so much respect. They respected me. I mean, I feel that. Be real with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Your pride and honor and your is coming from just being a member. Your respect is derived from them. That's the way they see you. You're deriving your respect and your honor because you're just part of the community. But as soon as you're not in that community, you're nothing to them. Absolutely zero. You can go from being the sheikh's right-hand man. You can go to being on the, in administration and going to Pakistan and all these things. Step out of line even one time. That means you're not respected. You're not valued. Mm-hmm. Your value is just you paying the money and not clicking the like button on something that they don't want you to. I mean, if you do that, that's it. You're just one like away from being thrown out of Jama'ah. You're not a respected community member.
It's a perfect example in this situation because Salman, he actually is someone who is respected and honorable individuals, never been like caught up with, like, as far as I know, any type of stuff that most people get caught up with when they're young, married, has 2 families, takes care of his mother, helps take care of other family members, does his like work on the land. He's always involved in something, whatever the community's doing, quiet, doesn't cause any type of trouble. Nobody inside or outside of the Jamaat will you could bring up Salman and be like, oh, I got a problem with him. Right? Years ago, when everything was first all hype, and he used to, I used to be related to him because my ex is like his aunt, right? So years ago, when all this stuff first happened, at the height of all this, getting death threats and all types of different things I was receiving from TMOA members. For some reason, he was in New York, and I just randomly seen him on the street in New York, up here in New York. He treated me like there was nothing had ever happened. Gave me salams, gave a little, water cooler talk, and then kept it moving. I'm like, alhamdulillah. Sal's still a cool dude. Like, I could, sometimes you'd be wanting to have like a little beef, like, oh, he's in the Jamaat. Let's see what he got to say. Nothing. And they have the nerve to, like, you respect this person. He was a respected community member, but as soon as he said, I don't want to pay membership dues because I don't know where it's going, or whatever happened with whatever administrator he was dealing with, you guys kick him out. No, you don't respect any of these people.
And look at how you have.
It's really absurd.
And look at how they have. And another thing, if I give you some pointers on how to run an organization, you're running a cult, but really, I mean, what this memo actually does, no one actually knows Salman, it creates some what they would call Fitrah within your little joint, because you didn't mention, you just went, okay, he didn't follow TMOA policy. If anyone has read a policy, like at their job or something like that, I mean, the policy could be, Article 1A through Z1 million. I mean, there could be an unlimited amount of little policy things that it could be. So you have the people who actually know Salman, and this is where people like in administration or people in the higher levels are disconnected from the regular people, because you don't understand. If you have a person who's well liked and respected amongst the people, you have to be careful with upsetting that. If this person is liked, then they start eventually, if they have brains in they have something in their chest, some sort of heart, they start be like, hold up, if this dude is going to be treated this way, and I'm not, and the way we feel about them, we're going to be next. I mean, or they're going to treat me even worse, So the thing is, y'all did not mention what he did. So either you're going to have people who don't know the situation, but they know him. They're going to be like, it can't be nothing that bad because I know the dude. I mean, these people are just, and that's why the number one excuse for the apologists is, what do they say? It's admin. It's admin. Yep. They try to detach the line, but so that your Shura Council who sent this junk, y'all literally just making yourselves look worse and worse to the people if y'all can't actually bring something that actually proves his the justification for kicking him out. Just saying, oh, he didn't follow policy. Yep. When every single person in TMOA know they don't follow policy. TMOA policy is that you're supposed to live on the land. People don't live there.
Right. TMOA policy says you're not supposed to watch R2F show, but the administrators watch R2F show.
It's a favorite show. Yeah.
So what do you got? Like, what policy is it?
Yeah. So basically, you didn't mention what he did. So you got the people that know and like him. They're gonna be like, they're not gonna be on your side. They're not gonna read this and be like, yes, man, he's some. No, they're gonna be like, it could be anything. It could be whatever TMOA policy I'm currently violating right now. The person wearing jeans right now is like, oh, was he wearing jeans? I mean, I bet they're not gonna. They're not really going to. They're not really going. That's not going to resonate, and it makes you look bad. Also, said TMO, and he made his stance clear. So you did not clarify for the people what he did that was so egregious. Because I remember even when I was back in TMOA, I had stopped paying dues. I don't know for how long, a long time. And even when I was paying dues, first I was actually paying religiously everything, even up to 35% when I wasn't even making no money. But eventually I was like,
Yep.
I'm giving these niggas $100 a month. I don't care how much I'm making, and it stayed at $100 a month. So I was like graduating. I was going higher and higher to get those things. It was staying at $100 a month. I didn't care what happened. It was like, and they even said in a meeting one time, they was like, yo, we know some people are not paying what they should be paying, and I was like, they knew not to ask me because at least you're getting that. At least you're getting a consistent amount of money. So they was like, this nigga might just stop paying altogether. But I mean, that's all I was doing. So I mean, even the point is with these with your statement that he violated TMOA policy, every single member is violating TMOA policy in some way. You got people on the internet, you got people living in the city, you got people wearing jeans, you got people going to school or not going to school. You got a TMOA policy for everything. That there is are not doing. You got people, some of the biggest supporters, some of the biggest TMOA apologists and biggest fanboys of TMOA. I mean, they got that. You'll see them posting pictures on their statuses and on their profiles or whatever. Them up in the gym, up in the gym, lifting weights and doing all that stuff. It's like everybody's violating a policy. Everybody's violating a policy. So y'all need to tighten it up there and then think a couple steps ahead. I mean, it's not gonna work, but still, y'all can try. So that's the thing. And then so he said, the next thing, because I know we don't want to take too long, but when he's talking about, he has said that he only needs one toilet. I mean, I know we have mentioned this so many times, but y'all have got to stop falling for this. They need to stop. Y'all need to really question them on this, because if he only needs one toilet, for what? What is the mission? What is the alleged mission? To guide mankind. That's what his mission was supposed to be. Even the Rasul's mission was to guide mankind, but how he wound up his mission, that's a lie. But still, if that's what he said and y'all believe it, his mission was to guide mankind. Now, how the heck is he supposed to guide all mankind if he only needs one sincere talib? What the heck is that? It doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah,
it's like me saying, it's literally like me saying,
contradiction.
Yeah, it's like me saying, yo, I'm gonna have me 10 kids. I'm getting 10 kids, but I don't need no woman to do it. I don't need no woman to help me. Even if I don't have a woman, I'm gonna have 10 kids. How? It's not possible.
But it's even worse than that. It's even worse than that, because if he's supposed to guide mankind, like A equals B, B equals C, if he's supposed to guide mankind, teach all mankind, that means all mankind has to become his talib.
Yes.
But you only need one. So where do you need all of mankind to finish your mission, or do you just need to guide one person? Which one is it?
And think about this. I mean, it's like this. Let me give you an example. Let's go with the best example of someone whose mission it actually was to guide mankind. He started with his wife, Khadija, radiallahu anha. Okay, she became Muslim. Okay, she became Muslim. All of her children that she had with Rasulullah, they all became Muslim. All of the Sahaba, the companions of Rasulullah, became Muslim. He taught them. وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَيُزَكِّيهِم. He taught them the book and taught them the wisdom, and he purified them. This is what Allah says over and over again in the Quran. And they became teachers. They became the leaders, and they became the shuyukh of their time. And people actually, even to this day, we followed their example. And then from them came many of the madhahib that we have now. The 4 that are remaining, but there was hundreds actually of madhahib. Some of them were more knowledgeable and stronger than the 4 that we know about. But the point is, those 4, okay? From those 4 madhahib, every single Muslim in the world almost, you have the Ja'fari madhab and some others, that you have. But for the most part, if you think about just the 4 madhahib that we know, Shafi'i, Hanbali, Hanafi, and what's the other one? Maliki. Okay, right? Think of those 4 madhahib and think of almost every Muslim that you will bump into is a student, or they follow that particular way of understanding and what that sheikh, that person taught. That is the example, someone who's guiding mankind. When they leave a legacy. They leave people who actually, then by the time they leave, they are able to almost do exactly what they left them upon. So there's not a thing where, okay, you have a bunch of duds who are there sitting, and then someone else who wasn't even doing what you were doing comes and takes over and just is running them, and you're doing the same thing. When Rasul passed away, Abu Bakr anhu, was able to be the Khalifa, and he was in that place. He was leading the Salah. He was leading the people in jihad and giving them directives and giving and all these different things that the leader is supposed to do, and all these people that sprung from them. The point is, if you're going to guide mankind, you don't even have even one person who followed you that is doing okay. So right now, which one of your talibs is guiding mankind? They ain't even trying. So it's like, even if you do believe that was your mission, that shit failed. I mean, that mission failed. I mean, it's a complete disaster, and you should even stop saying it. But the reason why it makes me so angry is because how are y'all still listening to this and not realizing that is a lie? I mean, it's not even realistic for you to even let someone say that in your face.
Even to the point of just look at. That's why it's so important. We keep saying it to everybody. Go and listen to a series on the Sirah, like a detailed one that's not like 1 hour video. Like we're talking about like
100 episodes, from
the beginning to the end, because it'll open up your eyes to a lot. And just someone coming and saying, yeah, my mission is to guide mankind. There's a certain way that Allah has had things happen over and over and over and over, that you see the pattern in how Allah does things and how Allah sets up things for his messengers. And I don't know of any example where, like, for instance, if we use Rasulullah Rasulullah was born, raised in the Hijaz, we'll say Arabia. He did not then leave Arabia and go to England and then get followers. And then everybody back in the Hijaz was like, man, we ain't following him. I don't even know him. Just think about everybody. Mubarak Jilani could not, the people that were closest to him, his wives, his sons, he literally has nobody a part of this cult except the people that were born into it, including his own children, because his older children are not part of the cult. His ex-wives in Pakistan divorced him, not part of the cult. No Pakistani followers except for maybe ones that he's like paying money, like his sister or something like that. So if you want to decide to follow somebody, it's the same questions we were asking those people that follow Muhammad Qasim. What about the people that are close to him? What about the people that grew up with him? What about the people that actually know him? Are any of them following him? No. That's a clear sign that something is wrong and that this guy is not someone that should be followed. But know what you could do? When you disappear somewhere else, like when a kid moves to a new school and they could reinvent themselves, and even though they were known as the school shooter back in Texas, they moved to New York and like, yeah, I'm the brainy one, and I'm so smart and I'm so popular. No, you go back to Texas, like, yo, you was the one we thought you was the school shooter.
Yeah, you remember back in the day. Remember back in the day, like whenever you had a kid transfer in or whatever. Like he either was the star on his basketball team or football team. Like he would transfer in and be like, you'll see me like, yeah, I played. I was averaging 18 and 8 and whatever. The kid is always saying how good he was until he gets on the court. Then you're like, trash. Nah, you were trash. That's basically what it is. When you go to that new area or whatever, you can be like, yeah, you can talk it. And that's what he did. But actually, whenever he actually ever had to produce what an actual sheikh would do, he never did.
Yeah.
He didn't even when they were there. I remember a famous story. As like they would say how a brother was leading Jilani in Salah, and the brother was like said he was moving or a little bit or whatever, and he came up and he walked up and put his arm on his shoulder and stopped him from moving. I mean, a brother was so excited to tell me the story. He was like, man, we was making salat and the brother was leading Shaji in salat, and he was kind of rocking back and forth, a little bit, reciting or whatever. And Abuji walked up behind him and put his hand on his shoulder. I'm thinking, why was he in your house leading you in salat? I mean, there's like it's part of the honor. It's part of the honor of a man that even if it doesn't matter who it is. You might not even be the that you could have all the top shuyukh in the world in your home, and you might only know Surah Al-Fatiha and Inna Atayna Kal Kawthar. They will tell you will lead the salat in your home. It's part of the honor and izzah of a man that they lead the salat in their home. And for this man to not even lead the salat in his home tells you the weakness of his whole situation. That and so maybe some people might not know that, but for him, he should know that.
Wait.
Hold on.
Mubarak Jalani was being led by him in salat, and then left his salat to go tap him on the shoulder. That's the story.
I mean, well, it wouldn't be necessary that he left his salat because I mean, I don't know if that would break his salat. Him stopping somewhere. I mean, if the person is rocking a little bit in salat, that you don't need to do that. But I don't know necessarily that's going to break his salat.
All right,
you know, but still, it's like what I mean. You should have been leading the salah. I mean, you're gonna go to some famous sheikhs or qari or whatever's house or whatever. Like, listen, you're not gonna go to the Masjid al-Haram or Mecca or Medina, Masjid al-Nabawi, and then be like, you get there and just the dude from down the street is down from your street is leading salah. You're like,
it shows how, because I'm not a scholar. Right, not a scholar. I'm just student knowledge, trying to learn what I can. But these are things that people that are knowledgeable, they know about these types of things. They know like the etiquettes of salat. You can like a person's home is just like the masjid, right? If I pull off the highway and go to the local masjid, right, I can't just be like, all right, y'all line up. You have to actually go to the imam, and the imam has to like give a person permission to like, yeah, go ahead, you can lead salat. So there's an etiquette to it. And like if Mubarak Jalani knew that, or anybody knew that, they would know that, like, no, I gotta ask the imam permission to lead salat. You know what I'm saying? I was looking for something because I wanted to like touch on the point of how basically true guides, people that are sent by Allah and all this, they don't leave the area that Allah put them in to go guide other people, right? So I thought it reminded me of the hadith of when Abu Sufyan went to go talk to the Roman emperor, right? So I wanted to find these questions. I want to go through these questions real quick and apply them to TMOA today. And it's very enlightening. It's really enlightening. You just gotta love the Sunnah. So the emperor asked, he said, and this is questions that people should be asking about Mubarak Jalani, his family, Noor, the whole TMO thing. They should be asking themselves similar questions and then think about the answers to these questions. So the first question they should ask is, what is his family status amongst you? Right? And of course, the answer for Rasul Sallallahu was like, he's from a very noble family. He's the most noble amongst us. Right? Mubarak Jalani, his father kicked him out of the family like, whatever. Don't come back here. Right? His family is, nobody knows him except for people that are in that shrine business. So he doesn't come from an honorable family, and he wasn't even honored within his family. Okay? So that's strike number one. Then the emperor asked also, has anybody amongst you ever claimed the same as before him? How many 20,000 different 7-6 hotels are there in Pakistan? Yeah, a whole bunch of people claim the same exact crap. Right? And the Arabs, when suicide came, no one ever claimed to be a prophet. Right? That's the next question you ask. So it's like, he ain't making everybody does this in Pakistan. All right? If any of Muhammad Qasim followers are watching, yeah, there's probably 30,000 Mahdis in Pakistan right now. Okay? Another question. He said, was anybody amongst his ancestors a king? And the response was no, because like the question is like, usually people that are like from some kind of like lineage of like they have some kind of power, then they try to seek the same power, right? Mubarak Jalani's father was a shrine keeper. He got kicked out the business. He wanted to be a shrine keeper too. So he went to America and got some African Americans to start his whole Sufi cult leader business.
Don't y'all realize how that shrine in South Carolina. Y'all not getting it. I mean, the shrine. He tried to import that mess here. He tried to, literally. That's all they know. The Pakistani shrine business way. Make a shrine, and hopefully, what he was hoping. This is what he was hoping to do. Just like people go to these shrines, people that don't know any better, they go to shrines, they leave money, they leave food, they do these things, and they visit them, they make pilgrimage to them. What he was hoping by having these miracles from a holy fax machine. Try to think about that without laughing. You can't. From a holy fax machine, yo. Okay, listen, I'm gonna give you.
You need a miracle? Hold on. What's your fax number?
What's the fax number? Yeah. So basically, as we have told on this show many times, in Pakistan they have the shrine system. The government has a ministry. They have like an actual government department that deals with shrines and taking the taxes, tax revenue from the shrines. You want to put up a shrine? It's a business. It's just like you have the business administration or the office, where you have to get your business license and all this, whatever, IEN number, that type of stuff. If you want to start a business, the same type of setup. You want to start a shrine, get your shrine, certificate or whatever, pay your shrine fees or whatever the case may be, and then you can run a shrine just like you run a business. So what he was trying to do with y'all is do that there. Make the shrine, build the shrine in South Carolina. Hey, everyone needs to go to the shrine because remember, then there started to be like all the events and the Eids and everything was happening in South Carolina. The shrine was trying to build that thing and have it like that to where not just TMWA, but all the other ignorant people who into that shrine thing, they would make pilgrimage to the shrine or whatever. That was probably the dream, the hope. It never developed, never materialized. Because remember, they was even trying to get the roads paved. They was taking money from other locations to try to get the roads paved there in South Carolina. They wanted to try to make that place a shrine. Whatever. They might still try to do it, but I mean that's what they're trying to do.
They shifted it because now they're trying to do it in. They realize it doesn't work in America because we don't put money into those things. Like, okay, well, let's do it in Pakistan. And they're spending more. They plan to spend more money on Jelani's shrine than they've spent on anything else ever in the Jamaat. We're talking about schools. We're talking about roads, homes, even where they said this is the most holiest place on earth. It's supposed to be Islamburg. They didn't put that type of money into that shrine, but they realized, like, you know what? If we set one up in Pakistan, like it's like Field of Dreams. Build it and they will come. Yes, those Pakistanis and Hindus, they will come.
Exactly.
And they're going to drop the rupees in the well, and you're going to make a decent living off of it. The next question he asked is, are his followers increasing or decreasing day by day? We know y'all are decreasing day by day. Not even forget what we're doing. Y'all are doing it yourselves. So, just kicking people out. Oh, you like that post? You're out of here. Oh, you shared a status? You're out of here.
Yeah, because you can even if you just look at. So listen, Fayed is the only that I can remember. I mean, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. If y'all remember any other welcome back memos, and now think of how many get the hell out of here memos we done seen. We done seen at least 20,
like
25.
10 people in like a day. One day.
Rapid fire,
So I mean, y'all, the numbers are definitely decreasing. I mean, they cutting everybody out the job.
They was kicking people out that was already kicked out. It was like, we already kicked this person out, but we kicking them out again because they did something. Oh man,
I've never been kicked out. Now, listen, folks are out the Jamaat still for Sultan, who's in the
Jamaat.
Who's in the Jamaat? Like what? His face is so bad.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Well. The next question he asked was, have you ever accused him of telling lies before his claim?
Nope.
Well, I mean, do we even have to go down that route? I mean,
Jelani.
Jelani, Noor, any administrator in TMWA, I mean, everything's a lie. Yeah, we have a school, we have colleges, we respect our. I mean, you can go down the list of infinite amount of lies that has been told by TMWA. Does he break his promises? Well, he promised y'all that we promised the Mahdi was going to be here by now. We promised some of y'all that y'all was going to be fighting in the army next to Isa alayhi salam.
As a commander,
promised some of y'all that, like many promises were broken? He asked if he ever had a war with them. What was the outcome of the battle? So we bring that to R2F. When did Rasul ever retreat and hide in a cave and say, I'm not fighting them. I'm not going on that show. I'm not responding to them. Never.
I mean,
so
even if we can even
battle.
We can even take it a little further. Do you remember when they were Hassan bin Thabit, right? Mm-hmm. What he was he was the poet, Rasulullah, basically like the official poet of the messenger, where Rasulullah didn't do poetry, but Hassan bin Thabit was a good poet, and he would tell him, respond to them, respond to the mushrikeen and the Quraysh when they were saying bad things or they were making poetry about the Muslims or whatever. He would send him out to respond, not to just make veiled quiet. He would say, respond to them. And he would make some devastating poetry against them too. I mean, it was like, I mean, you would think, man, the Muslims are saying this, but yeah, I mean, hey, listen, man, everything's on the table. The point is this, though. Rasulullah, the sunnah of Rasulullah is that you don't let people just say whatever they want to say about you and about your people, and you respond to them. And so, hey, do y'all have anybody? I know y'all got a bunch of little singers. You got your little duff drums that y'all be beating on or whatever. I mean, okay, respond. I mean, y'all can come on a show and respond. Y'all can just make a video and respond, but really, y'all don't really respond. You're just like cowards, man. I mean, there's nothing that y'all don't follow the sunnah in any way. And you know for sure, if you were really following the sunnah of Rasulullah and trying to embody and emulate him in every way, you would have someone you would designate to refute and tear down everything that we say, refute all the lies that we're saying. You would have someone on post ready. That would be their job. Respond to these niggas. Respond to them immediately. Go take their show and react to every single word that they're saying and prove it to be wrong. Show it that they're wrong. You can't even do that.
The last thing that he asked was, what does he order you to do? And the big contradiction is when you look at what Abu Sufyan at the time, when he was not Muslim, when Rasulullah, and he's talking about what Rasulullah was telling them to do. And I want you to ask people in TMOA, I want you to ask yourselves, does this response by Abu Sufyan apply to TMOA or does it apply to R2F? He said, he tells us to worship Allah and Allah alone, and not to worship anything along with him, and to renounce all that our ancestors had said. He orders us to pray, to speak the truth, to be chaste, and to keep good relations with your kith and kin. That should be our mission statement. I mean, come on, how many times have we touched on these topics at various times? And this stuff should be eye-opening to y'all. And just to bring it back to the situation, I know we got sidetracked a little bit, it's mostly my fault. Back to the situation with Salman. I really want to really get a message to his family, because he's going to go through, I don't know what his position is, if he's like a Jamadi or what it is, right? But most likely, knowing what I know of Salman, he's a very courageous, very honorable person. So even if he does believe in his Jamaat stuff, I'm going to guess that he's not going to just take this lying down. The brother has two families, from what I heard, living on the land. Mm-hmm. Two families that they're going to try to break up. So, and in that family, we have people that do or that are on the cult juice, and some that aren't, some that are on the fence or whatever. But you, as his family members, if you guys do not stand united against the oppression that they're trying to inflict on your family, there's a great possibility that your family will never recover, and the systematic oppression that's happened to your family. Now, I can just go down. I don't know the family too well, but I could speak about what I know. I know that his mother was forced to divorce his father. I know that his sister was forced to divorce her ex-husband, Hanif. And now you have the situation happening with him. I know another one of his sisters was shadily divorced from one of her ex-husbands. And if you guys don't stand united and support your brother, your son, your uncle, whatever he is to you, regardless of whether you believe in this TMOA cult stuff or whatever, as Muslims, you have to stand up for what is right and stand against what is wrong. And if you don't do that, you're going to be stuck in a system of oppression that you will not be able to get out of until you actually wake up and recognize it, acknowledge it, and deal with it.
Another thing before let me just hit on these 2 points real quick. That's in this memo, because I know we're right up against the time here. So the one thing when they were saying, okay, a sincere Talib, all right, we only need one sincere Talib, and this is for the Shura Council. I mean, they already know the answer, but it's like kind of a rhetorical question, but for everybody to think about. Now, he's saying you only need one sincere Talib. So, are you saying that you believe that all of these Talibs are sincere, the ones that are currently still in TMY? Because you're saying, you know, anyone who doesn't want to follow your way, you don't want them. So you're saying if all these people sincerely believe and are down with the mission that you have, that you guys are doing, whatever it is that is, because if they are sincere, if you believe all these members are sincere, then why did you want them to sign an NDA? Why do you take their phones and any sort of devices that they can, any of the stuff that you say can get out? You do that to like people who you don't trust. You don't believe they're sincerely down with what you want, and you believe that they're spies or that they are going to do something against you. So you don't even, by your own actions, you guys don't believe that any of these people are sincere. You're treating them like insincere people, almost like people you're holding by force, like slaves, like people who at the first chance that they get, they betray you or turn against you or do something against your way, your policy. That's the way you're treating them. So this is, even yourselves, you don't even believe it. The people on the Shura Council, you're living a lie. You're believing in a lie. You're pushing a lie. You're perpetrating a lie. And if we just look at the last statement, it says, therefore, we will not hold on to anyone who has already moved themselves from our way. Now listen to this, and I urge everyone who's listening now, every single member of TMOA, in or out, if you're out thinking of maybe I should get back in, or some of these people who are on the fence, or they're out but they don't think it's that big a deal that they should be calling these people who are in and standing up and raising their voices to help these people. This last statement is pure, a clear proof of why you really need to be very, very diligent. You cannot relax. What does it say? This might seem benign to you, but to the trained eye, there's something here that's so deviant. Listen to what it says. May Allah keep our feet firmly planted upon the path of our beloved Murshid Kamil. He has set forth for us, and make us sincere in our oaths until the last breath. Now, hey, listen, I'm gonna let y'all go. Tell me what the problem is with that. Tell me what the problem is with that.
Go ahead, Amr. You hit it up.
Okay. Well, I mean, the path that we follow is not a path set by some Pakistani guy randomly 1,000 years later. We follow the path of Allah and His Messenger Islam. So if you're following a different path set by a different person, you're not going to paradise. You're following the path to hell. Because you have created a whole new trail.
And even taking away the Islamic aspect of it, let's just use some logic here, right?
Islam wasn't mentioned here.
Well, but even without that, right? So we know if you want to follow a path of somebody, you're going to follow a path of someone you know made it to the destination. Oh, you're there? You know how to get there? Okay, I'm going to follow your path. That's why you don't know where Mubarak Jilani is right now. We don't know his state. We don't know his condition. We do know the condition of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We do know the conditions of the Sahabas, the righteous ones, and Abu Bakr and the Khalifas, and we do know that. So if you're gonna pick anybody's path, you're gonna pick a path of someone you know they reach a destination. What that Allah knows best. But to me, if I would have said some statement like that, I would seek tauba, because I believe I would have left the fold of Islam if I was trying to commit to a path other than the path that Amr just mentioned, the path that Allah and Rasul laid down for us.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically are, what they're telling you is that they're making dua to Allah. That's fine. A person can make dua to Allah for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you mentioned Allah doesn't mean whatever you're saying is right. There's people who make they keep their family upon the path of our beloved Murshid. Basically,
oh, Mubarak, you froze on us. Oh,
Okay.
he disconnected.
He's
He's back. Here we go.
okay.
There you go.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we're good. Go ahead. Read that over.
Can you hear me? Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Anyway, so basically, we're talking about the last part, and they were saying that they're asking.
Nope.
As soon as he gets into it,
It's like
Muhammad Qasim's
attacking him. Yeah, for calling him a nigga, the patient. No, but like honestly, like if I mean, sure, okay, you might not know where they go, but like at least follow someone's path, right? Where you think, okay, I think that I, from what I view, I feel like they know where they're going, right? Like I was on a hike with someone, and like they were leading the path, and they might have been lost. So you like don't confidently follow behind somebody when you think they're gonna be leading you astray. I don't care how serious you are.
And just the fact that they're like you're like so deluded, and this is like that cult mentality, like as Mubarak was saying, that they're making dua for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty much, you know, when we make dua for Allah to like guide us on the path, there's a certain way you make that dua so that it protects you, right? So like in the perfect example is in the Fatiha, where we say in every salah and multiple times a day, right? We say, guide us to the straight path. Yep. So a proper way, what they should have said is, may Allah keep our feet firmly planted upon the straight path that He, Allah, has set forth for us, and make us sincere in our oaths to Allah to our last breath. Not to anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's real clear. Like they're making dua. It's like it's almost like you hear like these atheists or Christians or whatever when Muslims are giving it down. It's like, I will never become Muslim. I don't care if Allah came down and did this and that. Like you're basically shooting yourself in the foot and asking Allah, but even from an objective standpoint, you're potentially asking Allah to keep you upon this guidance. That's like me saying, Ya Allah, please plant me firmly on the path of Mubarak and Amr. Y'all could apostate. Y'all could be munafiqs. Y'all could be whatever. And I'm asking Allah, like, yeah, make sure I get what they get. No. Allah, keep me on the straight path that I'm going to get to success in the hereafter. Even if I'm on the wrong path now, put me on the right path.
Exactly. And sorry about my technical difficulties. I had to switch the connection. But yeah, so and that's the point, man. The thing is that they're asking to follow the path of someone who is not infallible. And to believe that Jilani is infallible is kufr, actually. It's not Islam. No one is infallible. No one is infallible. The only reason why Rasulullah ﷺ was infallible is because Allah told us. He's the messenger, and Allah told us that he would be in Jannah. And the 10 who were promised Jannah. And there's certain people that Rasulullah informed us, not because of his own knowledge or information, but because what Allah told him, and then he told us people that were going to be in Jannah. Everyone else, no one else. Allah says this very clearly in Quran. No person knows what land they will die in. No person knows the future. We don't know the unseen. Rasulullah tells us in it's in the 40th hadith of Nawawi, I think it's the 4th hadith, where a person can live their whole life and be a handspan away from Jannah, and then they can do the acts that will get them into Jahannam, and vice versa. So we know that nobody can be guaranteed that they're going to go to Jannah. As a Muslim, you cannot believe that anyone is infallible. Not your father, not your mother, not yourself. You can't even believe me, myself. You know your actions, and you know your own beliefs. You can't believe that you know for sure that there's no doubt that you're going to go to hellfire. You can't believe that. For you to believe that would mean that you know the future. And for you to believe that would be a something that could take you outside of Islam. Why? Because Allah is the one he is alim al-ghaib, the one who knows the unseen, not you. So don't take this lightly. This statement in itself is baked into it that you believe that Mubarak Jilani is infallible, and you believe that without a doubt he's in Jannah, and everything that he said was the truth, even the things that were against Islam. So therefore, this to believe that statement would be something that could remove you completely outside of Islam altogether, because you're believing he's infallible, and you're asking, they're making dua on your behalf, and if you're saying Ameen to that, you've read it and you're saying Ameen, that means you're co-signing it. You're saying, yeah, that's what I want. When the Imam makes dua, you're saying Ameen, that's your dua, and you're asking for that. And this is what they're asking you for. They're not asking you for to stay firm on the footsteps of Rasulullah. Maybe you said that. Maybe you said this already when I was away, Jafar. But okay, I'll say it again. No. They're not asking you to stand firm on Islam or the Quran or the Sunnah. No, they're just asking you to stay firm on the way of Mubarak Jilani, someone who extorted some people who didn't know any better out of money for 40 years, someone who claimed to be someone that he wasn't, someone who led people down a tariqah and a path of the 7 sultans and all these things where we have proven that it was wrong. This is the path. This is, you want to attach your life and your akhirah to this person? Wallahi, this is insane.
Look at within just this message, because this message is about kicking this brother Salman off the land, taking his property from him. He has 2 homes on this property, separating him from his property. We already know this. Rasul one of the Sahabas asked Rasul, what happens if someone comes to take my property? He said, fight them. He's like, well, what if they kill me? He said, then you'll be a martyr and they'll go to hell. Like, this is how serious a Muslim's property is. It's mentioned in the last sermon. Everybody should be familiar with the last sermon. Talk about Muslims, the honor and respect that we should have for a Muslim's property. They're all these violations. And what they're saying with this last line of this dua, right? What they're also saying in this, because I know a lot of you guys in TMOA, you might not agree with us, but I know a lot of y'all read that memo and were like, man, they wrong. They're wrong for this. So what they're saying at that last line is, this is what we're upon, and we're going to keep on doing exactly this to the day we die. They're not changing, y'all. For y'all some of y'all sitting back like, yeah, it's admin. They're going to change. It's going to get better. Nope. This is what they're saying, that the path of Mubarak Jilani is. They're confirming that he kicks people out because they don't give me money. He kicks people out because they have disagreements with them. I take people's property from them because I don't care about their families. I don't care about their wealth. I don't care about Islam. And they're saying that we're going to stay upon this path and keep doing this to y'all until the day we breathe our last breath. And you got to ask yourself, do I want myself, my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren to keep experiencing the transgression and the oppression generation after generation after generation? It's 40 plus years now that this has been happening. At what point do y'all say, you know what? Enough. Forget this shit. Let's do something different.
And I mean, it's like this memo. I mean, it's almost as if Shaitan himself wrote it. Like that last paragraph, it's like this is something, because Shaitan doesn't want to just tell you straight up, like, okay, just disbelieve in Allah, worship the devil, worship me. No, he's not going to be able to get you that way. But how Shaitan gets many people, and people in the past and currently has people wrapped up, is that they get you to feel emotionally attached to a certain thing, and they get you to dig into some sort of way, and even call upon your ties, where you're loyal to a certain group or ancestry or whatever, to where it's like, we're gonna stay attached upon the path of our beloved Murshid. He's your forefathers, right? Listen together. This is someone who's passed away, and they didn't say, well, Her Eminence. They left her out of this in this one, because this is one of the tricks of Shaitan. We were set upon this way, And we're gonna stay attached to this. The people who came before us, your honor and your dignity is at stake. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're about. This is where we come from. This is in our DNA, basically, what they're trying to get you, trying to rile you up to, and say we're gonna stay on this till our last breath. But I will tell you what Allah says. What does Allah say in Quran? And understand. Listen, we point it out all the time, but you really have to start thinking. This is so dangerous. When your actions and statements and the things that you're calling to and believing in and they're leading you to are the same exact things that the people who Allah punished were saying, you have to wake up, open your eyes, and be very careful. What does Allah say? In Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 7. What does Allah say? وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمُ اتَّبِعُوا مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ قَالُوا بَلْ نَتَّبِعُ مَا أَلْفَيْنَا عَلَيْهِ آبَاءَنَا وَلَوْ كَانَ آبَاؤُهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ شَيْئًا وَلَا يَهْتَدُونَ. Tell me this doesn't hit home. What does Allah say? But when it is said to them, follow the message that Allah sent down. What are we saying to you? Just follow the Quran and the Sunnah. This is what Allah sent down. This is exactly what's being said to you. Follow the message what Allah sent down. If your man in Pakistan is on that, there's no problem. You're gonna meet him there. Follow what Allah sent down. If he's following that and you're following what Allah sent down, you're gonna be in lockstep. Right? But Allah says, when it said to them, follow the message that Allah has sent down. They answer, we follow the ways of our forefathers. And Allah says, what? Even though their fathers understood nothing and were not guided. Now, we know that from the forefathers, from the founding fathers of this Jamaat, they were not shuyukh, they were not ulama, they were not advanced in their study of Islam to the point where they could fall for this. This was a problem. They were, we don't want to say they weren't guided as far as not Muslim. They were Muslim. But what happened? They were able to be misled and swept away by this. They didn't know. They couldn't differentiate. They couldn't point out, hey, this is not part of Islam. Our fathers were not able to do that. Some of our fathers, even now today, still can't differentiate between what's part of Islam and what's not. We can't say because our fathers joined TMOA back in the day, because they started following Jilani, now we're still going to do it. You fall in the same category as these people that Allah is saying they're fools. They're fools for literally just saying, I'm going to follow what our fathers were on. This is what they're calling to you right now. They're literally saying the same thing. Hey, we're going to follow what our fathers before passed, even to our last breath. Didn't mention a single thing about Islam. Not one ayah, not one hadith, nothing. It's just basically the path that our Pakistani dude told us that we're on. We're following it to our last breath. Didn't mention the messenger, didn't mention Allah, didn't mention Islam, didn't mention religion at all. You know, and Allah is saying these are the people, they didn't understand anything. And one of the biggest things that our forefathers and mothers were guilty of and they struggled with was understanding the religion to a point where they could differentiate. And they weren't guided. They actually lost their religion based on not understanding and following this guy. So, and here we are 40 whatever years later, and literally they are really pushing this thing to a point where they're saying the same exact things that the people that Allah is reprimanding in Quran about. Be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. It's not, I mean, I know we laugh and joke a lot. We go overboard, over edge, but this thing is at a critical level. If you are saying Ameen, because this is what they're saying. They made a dua in this post. They made a dua in this memo against Salman. This is a dua for you. And if you are a member of TMOA and you're reading this dua and it says, may Allah keep our feet. They're making a dua for you, man. They're making a dua for you.
Yep.
This is us. They're including you in that. And they're saying, keep our feet planted firmly upon what? The Quran and Sunnah? No. Keep our feet planted firmly upon the way of our beloved Murshid Kamil has set forth for us. And make us sincere in our oaths. What oaths are they talking about? They had y'all people sign oaths that you were going to follow Jelani, that you couldn't divorce your wives, that you was going to follow Nur. All these different oaths, you're going to stay sincere to your oaths, that you were going to pay your taxes 100%, 35%, 20%, 10%, whatever it was. These are the oaths they're talking about. They're not talking about La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. They're talking about your oaths to them, to the group, to the cult.
And the NDA.
And that you will follow it to your last breath.
Yep.
I mean, do you realize what they're literally getting you to sign away sign away your Islam into kufr, because whatever they say goes.
And this is all indoctrination. It's all part of the brainwashing, whether they know if they're actively doing it or not. We have one question, and people answered it in the chat already. But the question was, why was Salman kicked off the land? We don't know exactly, because we're just hearing stuff through third parties mostly. Well, allegedly it was because he refused to pay membership dues because he did not know where they were going. Which is a very valid reason why you shouldn't pay anything. If someone comes and knocks on your door, says, "Hey, give me money," you're gonna be like, your first question is gonna be like, "Why? What for? Where's it going?" If someone says, "Hey, we're raising money for charity," you're gonna be like, "What charity?" If you're paying a bill, you're gonna be like, "What bills is? What does it give?" Like, it's this very simple question, and there's a hadith where, man, I don't have the exact wording, but it talks about the dangers of hiding money, keeping secret money, especially public money, misappropriation. That's what that is. Public funds deserves public knowledge. But we all know where it goes. It goes to gold bars, Rolexes, family trips, building mansions, and all the other different things that we know it goes to, millions and millions of dollars that enriches a family. But he didn't. He wanted to know where the money went to, and they kicked him out for that, allegedly. I don't think we have any other questions.
No, we're good. Alhamdulillah.
All right, alhamdulillah. So I think that's it. We had to pop up for this one. We don't know when we're gonna come back on, but we're gonna try to do at least once a month. So we gave y'all a treat by doing 2 weeks in a row. We're hoping a lot of people are waking up. We're getting good reports from different people that are reaching out to us and letting us know that our content's helping people wake up. And whether people reach out to us or not, a lot of people are waking up and leaving and starting their lives and getting back on the Quran and Sunnah, and that's all we really want. But I will say this. I will end with this. We wanted to cover this more, but maybe we'll do our next show on it. It is time, y'all. It is time. It's time. It's time for everybody to come out the shadows. No more. We don't. I mean, alhamdulillah, we're glad for everybody's efforts, but the working behind the scenes, the keeping quiet, to keep like family ties and people happy, and whatever situations people are going through, it's time for people to step up, step out, start speaking, start putting work in. We are always open for anybody that wants to come on this show and talk about whatever, right? We need people to show their faces and put their voices behind their faces, because the biggest dawah that we could do is for all of us, whether you're part of R2F or not. Just because you come on the R2F show doesn't mean like, oh, I'm R2F now. You can disagree with us, but you have to make it clear that you are not down with that falsehood anymore. Make it very clear, make it very visible, make it very public, and that is the greatest form of dawah, because everybody that sees you, they're going to be reminded every time they see you. If you're in that limbo area and you're keeping quiet under the radar, no. Come on the show. Come out. Come on the show. Open invite for everybody. It's time to start showing the numbers that we have. It's not just Jafar, Mubarak, and Amr, or Hussein, or Mo, or any other, or Uncle Abdul Azim, or Shahrazad, or anybody else that's come on our show and done these interviews. There are hundreds of us. We need people. We need the other people in TMWA that are scared, that are waiting, that are looking to see like what's on the other side. They need to see those numbers, y'all. So please, because we're not doing this forever. Let y'all know we're not doing this forever.
And I'll just add this one thing is that think about this, and there's probably, I know of at least 10 people that are clearly out of TMOA, don't have any of the beliefs. It's pretty much known that they are out, or there's no They're not going to necessarily be kicked off the land or anything like that. But they won't actually come on, show their face, speak, talk, or whatever. And I guarantee you, if those 10 people had come on and said, you know what, maybe I might be harmed in a way, maybe a family member or two might stop talking to me or something like that, or maybe my parents or maybe my wife might be upset or whatever it is that's holding them back. Had they just done that, what happened to Salman would not have happened. Allah knows best, but I bet you they wouldn't dare to do it. Why? Because they're saying, man, there are a lot of these people, or there have been people that have been kicked out and kicked off the land, but still just can't. They're so mad. They're so angry. They'll call you up and be like, man, these saying all this stuff about them, but they can't bring themselves to actually speak up and say anything. But look at what's happened. You have a person with a huge family and lots of people he's responsible for, that the harm reached him. Now you could say, well, what was he doing there? And I was like, I mean, okay. But the point is, these type of things would not happen if all the people, and it's a lot of people, just said, you know what, we're going to show our numbers and we're going to speak out. And every time this type of thing, because Salman is not the first person that this happened to. If the person before had said, no, I'm going to speak up, I'm going to stand firm, I'm going to stand my ground, I'm going to shine the spotlight on these people for the wrong that they're doing. But instead, they endured it, they ate it, they swallowed it, kept quiet about it, and they got over, they moved on with their life. Meanwhile, people are being harmed behind you. Are you going to, it's like a person who sees an obstruction in the road or some glass in the road or something. You popped your tire and you had to change your tire. Now you can be like, screw it. I'm just going to keep on going now because I'm good. Meanwhile,
what's the hadith?
Yeah.
The hadith of the weakest act of faith
is to remove something harmful from the road, remove an obstruction from the road or something. So this is the same thing. It's the type of thing. I mean, you might be okay. You got out, you made it or whatever. You're like, whatever, they annoy me, but I don't need to say nothing because I'm good now. Guess what? All three of us are good now. We don't have there's nothing about TMOA that's really, really bugging us, really. I mean, there's a few things here and there, maybe, but for the most part, I mean, we literally can go the whole day and not even bat an eye. We can go a month without being affected by them. We can go the rest of our lives if we really want to and never have to worry about it ever again. And so it's not, we're not tooting our horn, but the thing is, it's like, we cannot just sit by and be like, oh, well, they're getting effed up. They just, I mean, they got their beliefs is messed up, their finances getting messed up, their social, I mean, their families are being torn apart. We don't care. I mean, our families are good, but hey, I mean, no, come on, you got to step and realize that after Salman, it's going to be someone else is going to happen to, until people start saying, you know what, it happened to me and I got harmed and maybe some more harm might come to me, but I'm not going to let someone else get their whole life turned upside down by what turned my life upside down because I didn't warn them or help them at least, right? So just help the person who's coming behind you. It's going to happen to someone else until the people it's happening to stand up and say, no more.
Yep. I mean, with that, we can close this out. Amr, you want to do the honors?
Sure thing. Jazakallah khair for the show today. It was a blast. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. I have breaking news.
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead.
Nah, you got it.
We have breaking news. We do have breaking news. I repeat, Lahut Lamakan is in Pakistan. Lahut Lamakan is in Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum.